And then like the main like really big question I wanted to ask you because I know I only have like 10 games. I've been trying to take it slow because like when I used to play a lot, I would play like 6 to 8 games like a day.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like you do that and you kind of when you play, you just mentally kind of break down. You don't play at your like peak anymore. So I figured now I'm just gonna go do like 2 games a day, like 3 games a day max.
Yeah.
So, even though I have like a very limited amount of games, I kind of just wanted your opinion on how far you think I could make it because like once I get to that point, I would probably go to you guys and then like coach because I just like right now I'm joining back. I haven't played against some of the new champions. I don't know any of the meta. I was just like playing, old builds and old rune pages that I used to play when I played 4 months ago, 3 months ago. So
Yeah.
I'm like not really up to date on anything.
Cool. No, I completely get you, and that's honestly that is what I recommend. I like players when they come to us for coaching when they've hit what I like to call, I guess, their natural ceiling or their natural skill ceiling, where it's like, okay, I can get this far with watching YouTube videos, watching good streamers. Maybe I tune into a couple of Diana One tricks, and I can get, maybe I can get to platinum, and then go, well, okay, now I need someone to actually one-on-one go through my gameplay with me and to get to that next level. So generally there's no, even looking at your account, I mean, one, you've got not many games played, but two, I always find it hard to predict this kind of stuff, but I'd rather go through something that is just going to happen when it happens. And that's basically once you get to a certain rank where your Diana win rate or whoever you're maining is drops below about like a 55% win rate. Is when you're going to start to go, okay, the climbing's getting a bit slower. I'm versing better and better players. This is probably where I might need a coach to come in and look. Now, you can do that two ways, right? You could do it through your overall win rate.
Mm.
Are you on your mobile?
Yeah, I am.
I was going to, I'll share screen. You probably can't see it that well, but I'll share screen because I'm looking at op.gg. Um,
Okay.
Ignore those weird ads. Um, but so I would generally go, okay, well, once this overall win rate goes down from 67% maybe to 55% or lower, 50% if you really want to wait until then, happy to do that. Or when this Diana, so like let's say you want coaching specifically on a certain champion, once the win rate on that individual champion goes below that 55% threshold, and the extreme limit is 50%. But really, I generally recommend you don't want to get to a place where you're at 50% of a win rate because now you're starting to affect your MMR when we could have prevented it by getting in earlier. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, I get you. The only thing is like around like before like last season ended, I think I still like being like platinum too. I was like hovering on like a 50%, like 54% win rate. Like,
Yep.
do you think maybe I go like a little bit earlier, like 60, like when it goes down to like 60%? Because like
Yeah,
uh,
for sure. If
I
we're
don't know
if we're
what else
trying
to
to
ask.
yeah, if you're trying to preserve your MMR, right? So I'm trying to look at it, I
Yeah, yeah.
guess, from a cost effective or like approach, but also if we're trying to preserve our MMR, right? Yeah, the higher the win rate is, the better because then we can almost try and maintain that or at least keep the account at a higher MMR. So yeah, I think 60% is a completely fine, I guess, trigger for you to go. Okay, I want coach. Like I'm gonna get some coaching now.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Because like right now, I feel like I'm playing like really well. Like every game I get into, I either have like around the same amount of CS. I always have a higher vision score. I always have more objective participation. I'm always there before the enemy mid is. So
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I could go higher than gold. I don't think gold is where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't
But
either. I definitely gold too. Yeah, you're definitely not going to be there for long, and you're not going to be in gold for long.
yeah. So I guess 60% then I should go look at y'all's website. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Or maybe you get to that peak rank you got to previously, and you're like, oh shit, is this too good to be true? Was this luck or whatever? Because like maybe you do
Yeah.
somehow manage to maintain a 65% win rate all the way up to. I did you say plat one was your peak?
Yeah, platinum was
Yeah,
my
so
peak.
like maybe you get to plat one with that win rate, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I don't need coaching, or maybe then that's when it starts getting really tough. But yeah, use those two, I think, as the best indicators of, if you hit your peak rank and you're going, oh shit, this is pretty scary. Or the second one, you hit below the 60% win rate.
Yeah, I definitely think I'll do that
Yeah.
instead because I want to preserve the MMR as much as possible and not like spam out games and just get like the most out of it, you know?
Yeah. To be honest, I almost love that you've come at this stage because so many people come to me 300 games in with like a 49% win rate or a 51% win rate, and they're like, "Can I still get to diamond?" I'm like, "Look, you can, but it's going to take you another 300 games because you've doomed your
Yeah,
account."
that's if your MMR.
Yeah, and then I'm like, just like if you really want to get to diamond, just start a new account. Then they're like, "But all my skins," and I'm like, "Well, you played 300 games with a negative win rate, so so you've
Yeah,
come at a really good time. And if you set those benchmarks up for yourself, like those indicators, I think that's the best time to come look again for coaching.
I gotcha. Is there anything else like you recommend or anything before, we end the call or anything
Um,
else?
um, I think it's fine. It looks like you're doing a bit of like a build and keystone diversity, which I really like. I was a bit concerned just looking here. It's electrocute every game, but you do a bit of conqueror. I assume when you feel like you need to duel a bit more. Um,
Yeah, I only do it when like because if like games are like really tanky,
yeah,
I go for that same build, that Night Harvester build with demonic and Nashries,
yeah,
just because it feels really good into those. But I used to play like a whole bunch of different combos on her. I used to do Phase Rush, but I don't think Phase Rush is viable anymore. I
mm,
used to do Electrocute, Conqueror, a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah. Okay. I mean, first strike could
So I'm
even be
definitely
something
like,
you could consider.
oh yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I've seen a few people use that, but that's a brand new rune. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, and I generally only recommend it in melee matchups because otherwise you're not going to be able to activate it. Because
Yeah,
the
you're
way it
just never
works,
gonna be in combat long enough.
yeah, and no, the way it activates right is as soon as you do damage, it starts ticking for the next 3 seconds. You deal 10% damage, and then you get the gold back, a percentage of the damage you deal. You get gold back from it. But the problem is if the enemy attacks you first, so let's say you're versing a Zerath, if they use a Q on you and damage you, it ticks, it procs your first strike, even though you're not doing damage to them, and then it goes on a 30-second cooldown, and that obviously decreases with level. So it's not very damage or gold efficient when you're versing range matchups as a melee.
Yeah,
But if you're versing a Yone or like someone who you're going to duel, and you guys can basically hit your skills at the same time, or you can engage first strike could be definitely something you could look at.
yeah, I'm gonna have to try that out then.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that. I saw Rengar. I guess Rengar's like a really S tier jungler right now or something, but I
yeah,
see him take first strike all the time in the games I played.
yeah. Rengar, Echo, and Kha'Zix are the big junglers who are taking it at the moment. Yeah,
That
but it
makes
can be
sense. Makes
utilized
sense.
in mid. Yeah. The last thing I was going to say, when you are testing this stuff out, if we do really want to preserve that MMR, maybe do it in a normal or on your Smurf account, depending how serious you are. I always like to say,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
find.
no, I'm definitely gonna hop on another account
Okay,
for it
good,
for
good.
sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, you're serious about preserving your MMR. Good. I like that. Because I'm always
yeah,
like,
man. I mean,
please don't try this
yeah,
new
if you have
build or new champion on your account that you're trying to get to, like, the highest rank possible. Okay, awesome.
no, I for sure. I've learned all my lessons, man, from the previous seasons. I got two Smurf accounts that I, play like stupid shit on. I even ran Grasp Diana, and I actually would run that on my main account every now and then in
Yeah.
games that it made sense. I did some crazy ass shit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's like the benefit of, I guess, mastering a champion, right? You can actually test a lot of shit that can sometimes work. It might not be optimal, but it can be fun and it can work in different ways or ways you didn't expect.
Yeah. Do you suggest anything else, like like with the preserving the MMR and stuff? Because like right now, I think I'm getting like 23 LP a game.
Yeah, that's really good. The only thing I'd say is like you're gonna run into issues where like what happens when you don't get mid lane. I think for now, I assume you can play a good 80 carry at gold 2, but it's like mid lane's the most popular role this season, and it's gonna be every season basically. how strong is our autofill? Because you're probably going to get 20, let's say 10 on the lower side, 10 to 30% of your games, you're not going to get mid lane. And so if that's 30, let's say it's 20% of your games a season, and you're playing 300 games a season, that's 60 games of those 300 where you need to have a champion that you can try and get a 55% at least win rate on. So maybe what I'd suggest on those Smurfs is I don't know, just because I'm looking at the data here where you've just got one game played on Kate, one game played on Misfortune. I don't know if you've got that, I guess, backup pick for the second role that you play that you're very comfortable on.
Yeah, no, I usually like I pretty much only play mid, and then I used to always do support secondary. I play Ori support, but I just support, especially like in gold and platinum. I don't like it. It feels kind of bad. Um, because you place words and it feels like sometimes people just like don't play around it. They don't play around the vision. It's just you feel useless.
Yeah.
Uh, but the ADC stuff, that's something new that I've been trying out. I've just been doing mid AD, so I don't know any characters to pick up. I literally just played Caitlyn because Misfortune got taken that game and it happened to work out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's something you're gonna need to fix, I guess, sooner rather than later. And that's you don't necessarily need a coach for that. You just need to learn a new champion, a backup
Yeah.
champion, basically for when you don't get mid lane. Um, have you ever played Diana Jungle? Because that seems like a really easy solution.
I just not like I play jungle. I'm
Yep.
just not comfortable with it. Like I
Got it.
just like mid lane decision making. Like I'm like really comfortable with. I
Yep.
always know like I gotta lean towards this side. I gotta ward towards this side. X like dragons coming up. I need a ward down here. I need to like place vision enemy jungle right.
Yep.
Like I'm just like really comfortable with how it's played. Like I know the flow of it. Like jungle, like I get in and like I shit my pants. Like I'm
Got it.
like I don't know if I'm starting red, blue, like what like
Yep.
pathing is. Like I have no idea, dude. Like
Okay, yeah, because I was just thinking. I mean, imagine if you queue up mid jungle every game, right? And you can play
and then
Diana.
you could play
Yeah.
Diana. Yeah,
So that's an avenue, but it's like, hey, if we're not comfortable with jungle, sure, we can coach you into being a better jungle player. But I'd much rather you play your secondary role that you're most comfortable in and that you enjoy playing. Because it is going to be, 20. Let's say max 30% of your games, 20%, 10%. It's going to be a decent proportion of them. We may as well have something you're comfortable on.
that's
So
that. And if you queue mid jungle, you're gonna get filled jungle more just because
that's a good point.
less people are queuing jungle too.
Yeah, and mid 80 carry is probably technically the best one because 80 carry is usually the second most popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something you'll have to think about strategically of, hey, what's that backup champion? Yeah.
Is there anything you suggest? Because like the reason why I picked AD is because you could take a lot of stuff from mid and just apply it down there. Like I mean, you could just where to ward at. You know how to like wave manage it, so you can manage the waves and stuff. It's just like similar to mid, but without like the assassin mashups and having to like move around as much. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just picked it randomly and just started playing it.
Look, I mean, logically, it sounds like you're most comfortable with it the way you're describing bot lane and the transferable skills. I'd say to mid lane. It's just about I don't know what your best 80 carry is, right? Because I'm looking at your main account. I just see one game. So it's hard to say that. If you're looking at going, okay, I want 80 carry as my secondary role, what champion should I play? Like, I don't have a pool. Let's build one. Go to a site such as u.gg, whatever site you like to look at for champion win rates. Click the bot lane and just look here. Obviously, the first few are, I guess, Tom Kench. Zeri's number 2, Seraphine's 3, Ziggs is 4, Twitch is 5, Callista's 6, Ash 7, Veigar 8, Jin 9. So you can go like look at this and go, okay, the meta says Zeri is the best 80 carry at the moment. Or you go, okay, I have mastered Caitlyn, right? Like Diana. Diana definitely doesn't have the highest win rate at mid lane at the moment, but because you've mastered her and you're comfortable on her, you can go like a 60%, 67%, 55% win rate comfortably on her, regardless of how the meta plays her. So if you've got an 80 carry that you've like mastered in somewhat of a similar state to Diana, then I'd say, hey, go with that 80 carry. But if you're like, shit, I don't know what 80 carry I should play, start with the meta and then try them out and see which one you like and see which one you can have success on. But it's going to be
Okay.
experimenting. There's not going to be that you might find the answer straight away, but it's most likely going to be experimenting there.
Yeah, I got you. Do you think with like because mid, right? I have like a tiny little champion pool. I mostly play Diana just because she hasn't been taken the past few games.
Yep.
But I'll play like Ari and I know how to play some other champions, Oriana, mostly mages. Um, but do you think bot lane, because it's only a secondary role, do you think I learned one champion or do you think I'd take the time and learn two of them?
I mean, I've really just learned one, and then like I'd ideally just say just one, and then there's a second one that you play if you have to, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so whether or not you like play that one, maybe I don't know, once a week or once every couple of weeks on your Smurf account, just to keep, you know, it really again depends how serious you are. If you're willing to dedicate, you know, a couple games a week on your Smurf account to your primary 80 carry, and then like one or two to your secondary, I mean, chances are like you're only going to have to use that secondary 80 carry if you play 300 games in a season. Just an example, maybe you have to play it 5 to 10 times. So it's like it's a very low percentage, but it is a percentage, so it's really how serious you are about it.
Yeah.
um
Hmm.
yeah.
Because ideally you want to win. I mean, pretty much every single game.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
yeah, we're not going
yeah,
to
it's
get.
not gonna happen
Yeah,
though.
yeah, exactly. But we want to give. I like to look at it. What's the statistically the best chance I can give myself to win this game? And
Hmm.
it's almost always playing the champions you're best at, right? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Um.
that's what I'd recommend. But the smaller the pool, the better. It's just how small to make it viable is always that, I guess, golden question.
I gotcha. I'll probably do that then. Do you suggest, because I know you're like, learn it, get comfortable with it. The thing is, like, you play, at least on my other accounts, they're not ranked yet. This is the only one that I have ranked right now.
Yep.
Do you suggest that one of them I just kind of make into like a ranked AD account and I play on it like once or twice,
Yeah.
and just like keep up with it?
That'd honestly be ideal. Like if you create literally a 80 carry Smurf account, like that's gonna be the best. That's the best solution I
Okay.
see for sure.
All right. So don't do norms on it. Make an account just for AD. I
Yeah, and
gotcha.
you might fucking find that maybe you doom your main account and then you go, oh shit, my 80 carry Smurf account, I'm actually sitting at a 60% win rate, and I'm just a couple of division, like a couple of ranks below. Oh crap, like that's good. Or maybe you get two accounts to diamond, or like two accounts to high plat. You know, like the Smurf can sometimes actually become like a really competitive account that you're almost as high on, if not as high. So yeah, I definitely think having that second account is always a good option. Playing ranked with it.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate everything, man.
No worries. And yeah, so stay in touch. I mean, you're in the Discord, right? So if you ever want to ask questions, go there. I'm always here for DMs if you ever got any questions. And then finding that time that's right for you again, I'm happy to revisit. And you're like, is it time for coaching? I'll look at your op.gg and go, okay, let's book in a session. Then you can be like, hey, I want to get coached by you or my other coach, and then we can go from there. But there's no strings attached. The Discord's free forever. You can message me for free forever. So don't feel like if you don't buy a session, you can't talk to me or anything like that.
Sweet. So what you're saying is just keep playing the games, keep playing it how I am right now, and then when I feel like I'm getting close to that spot where I'm like, hey, I'm not smashing games anymore. I feel like I'm slowing down. Then kind of shoot you a message on Discord, be like, hey, can you look at it? And then have you look at it, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I think you should, and then I can pay for it then.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
Awesome. All right.
All right, man.
See you later.
See you later, man.
Awesome, guys. So that was basically an example of a player who isn't sure if they are ready for coaching yet. And what I'm going to do, or what I'm not going to do, is sell them something that they might not necessarily need. So what we did there in that session is basically, hey, go through his account, figure out his strengths and weaknesses, figure out the opportunities, figure out the things he's going to need to think about in the near future, but also create a rule or a system of, okay, when do I need coaching? Okay, it's at that 60% win rate. And I gave him options. You can come to me at 50%, you can come to me at 55%, or he suggested, can I come to you at 60%? I said, perfect. But as long as you've got that idea in your head, that's a really good place to start. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video and learned a lot from it. And I hope it's actually helped you understand of, hey, do I need coaching or not? And okay, if I do need coaching, when should I go for it? Thanks, guys.